Speaker, I just want to advise the House that I have quite bad hay fever at the moment. I've taken a rat test and I'm negative, so before everyone wants to say anything. Mr Speaker, it's my sad duty to report that a woman has passed away in floodwaters in North Queensland overnight. The woman went missing after a car washed off a road at Mount Ossa, north of Mackay, last night. I thank the emergency services personnel and SES volunteers who worked through the night to find this woman. Tragically, I'm advised that they have recovered her body. Mr Speaker, I offer my heartfelt condolences to the family, and I sincerely hope that this is the last tragedy. Mr Speaker, this tragedy serves as a stark reminder to Queenslanders of the dangers of weather events. The SES have responded to more than 110 requests for assistance since 3 p.m. yesterday, and they continue to assist the community as I speak. Emergency services were also called to reports of minor flooding affecting 3 properties after intense falls in Townsville overnight, but were not required to evacuate any residents. Mr Speaker, heavy rainfall has hit many regions across the state in the last 24 hours. Overnight, they've recorded 244 millimetres at Marillion Mill, south of Innisfail, 200 millimetres at Innisfail Wharf, and 180 millimetres at Paluma, North Queensland. The Bureau of Meteorology advises that heavy rainfall may redevelop this morning over eastern parts of the Herbert and Lower Burdekin, as well as the northern central coast and Whitsundays. The risk of heavy rain is expected to ease later today as the heaviest falls continue to move offshore. A number of flood warnings are now current across the state, including major flood warnings for the Bowley River near Townsville, the Horton River and the Cooper Creek. Our flood watch continues for numerous catchments across northern, central and western Queensland. And I'm advised that multiple regions around the state have experienced flash flooding. Mr Speaker, I'm also advised that the man rescued from floodwaters in Mount Isa yesterday has been discharged from hospital, and I wish him and his family all the best. And I thank the thousands of emergency services personnel and volunteers who continue to put their lives on the line to take care of us this week. Mr Speaker, Queenslanders have done a great job so far, but we know how quickly things can turn from bad to worse in heavy rain and storms here in Queensland. Again, Mr Speaker, I urge all Queenslanders to please be prepared. Don't travel unnecessarily on the roads during the weather. Please monitor the weather warnings issued by the Bureau and always remember, if it's flooded, forget it. Mr Speaker, yesterday I announced historic changes to how this state will deal with domestic and family violence. These were the recommendations of Justice Margaret McMurdo and her inquiry. Key to them is a holistic approach that includes greater education and awareness, particularly of coercive control. It was also recommended that a commission of inquiry be examined to examine the role of police. Mr Speaker, I once again make it plain that our police do a great job in this state. Their dedication has saved lives. As former Commissioner Bob Atkinson said, police last year responded to 120,000 calls for help linked to domestic violence. The service itself estimates it responds to 300 incidents of domestic and family violence a day. But among the 700 submissions to Justice Margaret McMurdo's inquiry were women who said the system had failed them. The Commission of Inquiry is to stop these women from continuing to fall through the cracks. The terms of reference will include whether there are cultural issues within the Queensland Police Service relating to the investigation of domestic and family violence, how they might relate to the over-representation of First Nations people in the criminal justice system, assess the capability, capacity and structure of the QPS to respond to domestic and family violence, and adequacy and conduct of the handling of complaints. The Commission may receive submissions from relevant individuals and entities and hold public and private hearings. It will be conducted by Her Honour Judge Deborah Richards. She is a former Crown Prosecutor, Public Defender and President of the Children's Court of Queensland. I acknowledge the comments made by the Queensland Police Union President Ian Levers, who said the inquiry was an opportunity to appreciate the pressures and workload on police and to improve. Mr Speaker, these are complex issues. Every day, another 10 women are admitted to hospital because of domestic and family violence. Each of us has a role to play in confronting it, preventing it and ensuring perpetrators face justice. We have arrived at this historic turning point, not as a government, but as a community. I thank Judge McMurdo and her task force. I thank the members of this government's own Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Council. But most of all, I thank the families of the victims of these hideous crimes. Alison, Hannah, Hannah's children and hundreds of others are no longer with us, but their families continue to fight for them with grace, with patience with dignity and with unbelievable strength. Yeah. As Hannah's dad, Lloyd Clark, said yesterday, our angels have voices. Justice McMurdo's reports urges us to hear her voice. So we have, Mr Speaker. We have heard it together. Yeah. Mr Speaker, a strong resources industry is vital to rebuilding Queensland's economy and creating jobs for the people of this state. Queensland's resources industry has gone from strength to strength under our government. In total, we've supported $21 billion worth of investment into resources projects, creating more than 8,000 jobs. Our government always backed Queensland's resources sector to create jobs and diversify our economy into the future. And, Mr Speaker, today I have some good news for our industry. Queensland's Independent Coordinator-General has declared a $242 million vanadium proposal in the state's northwest, a coordinated project. Yeah. The Richmond to Julia Creek vanadium project has the potential to mine up to 4.2 million tonnes of ore per year. The minerals will be processed on-site to produce 790,000 tonnes of vanadium concentrate. Even more importantly, Mr Speaker, this project is expected to create 50 construction jobs and an extra 200 ongoing jobs once it's up and running. Mr Speaker, vanadium is one of the top 5 minerals required to develop renewable energy technologies. As a result, this project could help to drive Queensland's ambition to become a renewable energy powerhouse in the future. This development and other projects like it will be supported by our commitment to build a $10 million critical minerals demonstration plant in Townsville. Of course, in order to proceed, this proposal will have to meet stringent environmental approvals, but I'm advised this project is very promising. Mr Speaker, we understand how important this issue is, how it creates jobs, and we will continue to drive the exploration of these new minerals to make sure that it contributes to our renewable energy future. And finally, Mr Speaker, the Queensland Reconciliation Awards, honouring initiatives which advance reconciliation across Queensland, will be held in the next few weeks in Cairns during National Reconciliation Week. Today I'm pleased to update the House that 16 outstanding finalists across 5 categories have been shortlisted for this year's awards, now in its 20th year. These include a youth-orientated Indigenous language program, social media projects sharing Indigenous stories, and businesses enhancing job opportunities for First Nations people. And, Mr Speaker, I table the 16 finalists. Reconciliation is as much about the journey as it is about the destination, ensuring all voices are heard, acknowledging and accepting the wrongs of the past and creating new systems built on fairness, equity and trust. I congratulate all the finalists and commend everyone who put forward a nomination, and I look forward to attending the awards in Cairns.
I call the Deputy